Another potential explanation for why effort per shift might decrease in response to a temporary wage increase is that individuals could have preferences that include a daily income target that service uh, as a reference point. The crucial element in this approach is that if a person falls short of his or her target, he or she is assumed to experience an additional psychological cost which is not present if income varies above the reference point. Now, the explanation is suggested by the large number of studies indicating reference dependent behavior. Uh, Evidence from psychology suggests that the marginal utility of a dollar below the target is strictly higher than the marginal utility of a dollar above that target. A daily income target seems plausible for bike messengers in our sample because their daily incomes are silent feature of their work environment. The messenger keep the receipts from each delivery made on a shift. This makes them acutely aware of how much money they earn from each completed delivery. The messenger also turn in the receipts at the end of the shift, making it difficult for them to keep track of how much money they earned over several shifts. A daily income target may also serve the messenger as a commitment device for the provision of effort during the shift. Zurich is rather hilly, and riding up the hills several times during a shift requires quite some effort. In particular, if the weather is bad, or toward the end of the shift. A daily income target may thus help the messengers overcome a natural tendency to seek that arises from a high marginal disutility of effort. The preferences described in 7 imply that workers increase the number of shifts when they are temporarily paid a high wage. A rise in wages increases the utility of working on given day. Thus, a higher wages it is more likely that the utility of working exceeds the fixed cost of working. At the same time, however, increase in wages makes it more likely at the same time, however, increase in wages make it more likely that income target is already met or exceed at relatively low levels of effort. Therefore, compared to the control group, the workers in the treatment group are more likely to face a situation where the marginal utility of income is lambda instead of gamma lambda. They face lower incentives to work during the shift. As a consequence, the members at the treatment group will provide less effort than members of the control group. The previous discussion shows that the reference-dependent preferences at the neoclassical model and the neoclassical model with non-separable preferences may make similar predictions. In particular, both models are consistent with reduction in effort per shift during the wage increase. Reduction in effort in the income target model, however, should be related to the degree of loss aversion gamma, as explained above. Evidence suggests that there is substitutional heterogeneity in the degree of loss aversion between individuals, and then individuals who are loss averse in one type of the decisions are also loss averse in other domains of life. Thus, in principle, the two explanations can be distinguished if one obtains an individual level measure of gamma. Okay, results. The section reports the results from our field experiments. Our analysis is based on the 4 weeks prior to the first experimental period and the 2 subsequent experimental periods in which Group A and Group B received a wage increase. The data contain the day of each delivery, messenger's identification number, and the price for each delivery. Thus, we have in principle 2 measures of labor supply: the amount of revenue generated and the number of deliveries completed. Since longer deliveries command a high price and require more effort, the revenue is our preferred measure of labor supply. Our estimates of the treatment effect, however, are almost identical for either choice of the labor supply measure. The first important question is whether there is a treatment effect of total revenue per messenger during the first and second optimal periods.